Princess Mary Hospital, with all the shooting and violence that we experience today, we most certainly can use all the blood that's available to us. Rotarian, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My topic today, Vision for a Better Bahamas. I want to start by saying, a people without vision will perish. Do you think this quote from Proverbs is valid today? I most certainly do. I thought of this phrase when I asked to deliver the message today because I thought it was most pertinent. And reminds me, my mom had ingrained in me some key principles as a young boy. One of them was based on that phrase. She said, in order to go somewhere, you have to know where you are going, know when you arrive. To have vision, one must be able to see from where you came, to see where you are, and to see where you are going. The Bahamas of yesteryear was one in which our forefathers were overtly oppressed. They fought for the basic right of freedom, right to vote, right to work, and right to bring about change for their children. We must occasionally look back at our past. We must ingrain in our children the struggles, the challenges, and the victories that has brought us to where we are today. There was a social and political revolution that voiced the young Bahamas based on the fire and the sheer determination of our then leaders, our parents, and our society. Even though we made tremendous development and political strides, we were still hampered by victimization and greed that suppressed our potential and vision. You would recall that in the not too distant past, pre-1992, there was overt victimization, nepotism, limited freedom of speech, where many feared repercussions. But the airwaves opened up and created an environment that ushered in the issues of the day, real talk, and now each and every voice throughout our Bahama land can be heard. No matter what the topic, no matter the persuasion, all are equal. This is part of the new vision. A Bahamas where there's no black, there's no white. A Bahamas where all are equal. A Bahamas where each and every one are entitled and have equal opportunity for quality health care, opportunity for quality education, job opportunities, and opportunities for ownership in the economic pie. A Bahamas with greater opportunities and incentives for small businesses. Small businesses, as you know, actually comprises about 60% of our economy. So the question must be asked, have we invested sufficient in this sector? Is this a part of our vision, or is this only a dream? I would say a dream can be realized in many instances by chance, by luck, and by opportunity. A vision is the concerted effort of a realized dream. It has substance, it has drive, and has determination, a beginning and an end. To have a vision, one must not only be able to see and to move. One must be flexible. To be flexible, one must accept change. We had a revolution. We had a media revolution, spring of the airwaves, a renaissance which brought about freedom of speech. It is time to cement the deal by passing a Freedom of Information Act. We need another revolution. Yes, the time has come, certainly, for the Bahamas to undergo a freedom of revolution, a Freedom of Information Act. This will usher in greater transparency, accountability, and help to weed out corruption throughout our society. After all, as your employee, you, the employer, is entitled to information. Should an employer not be entitled to learn what the employee is doing? When the day comes, when the employer or the employee cannot communicate with each other, then that is the time to change the employee. And soon, very soon, this employee will be looking for a job, not wanting to join the 14.6 unemployment list. With freedom comes responsibility. We the people must realize that some information is considered confidential as a matter of national security and other governmental protectionary duties. In my vision of the Bahamas, we as a nation also need to return to the basic principles set out in the Bible, particularly the greatest principle to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. We have become so caught up in our own affairs that we do not see the people around us that need our help. We need to remind our children of the importance of good education by offering ourselves through our lives to be positive role models. Aside from that, we can promote healthy lifestyles, proper eating, exercise, and interaction with family. Remind our nation of the responsibility we have to keep this jewel called the Bahamas clean. If we continue to ignore that fact, the future Bahamas won't be so welcoming. In developing a vision, we must improve the efficiency of government. In order to improve efficiency, we must improve the quality of service delivered by the public sector entities. We must do it right the first time, thus decreasing the cost that we may incur. We also would have to put in place other cost-cutting initiatives to ensure the sustainability of our government. Improvement in communication is paramount to our visionary progression. We must effectively communicate new projects and programs so as to foster more involvement in the infancy stage of the project development. Yes, a more consultative style of government, one that encourages the great minds of this nation to assess and to assist in the vision and development therein. We have a current culture of being quick to criticize but slow to congratulate and slower to get involved to make a positive change. I think it is important for us to exercise patience before we follow the path of public outcry. I look at the Saunders Beach Improvement Project, which is near and dear to my heart, as that falls within the constituency of Kalani. That project initially endured bitter public outcry and criticism. But look at it today. Today, anyone who traverses that corridor must admit that the vision of the project has brought about a positive change to the area. The complaints today, as we listen about the Saunders Beach project, many of the complaints, and the most relevant complaint today, is individuals complaining that there are not sufficient parking, when yesterday there were none. Same will be true once the infrastructure initiatives are completed, as they too were part of a vision that encompassed improvement and focused on the future development of this our Bahama land. As we look at the road development project, you see roads, you see asphalt, you see tar. I see the fiber optic that's being laid down so as to sustain our financial sector, which comprise about 20% of our GDP. And yet, when you listen to those within the financial sector, one of the greatest complaints is communication with their home office, be it in the US, UK, or any parts of Europe. Those fiber optics would help to sustain our livelihood, as this is one of our greatest paying jobs. I see fiber optic cables being laid down so as to improve our healthcare facilities, so that through communication, one clinic can speak to another without individuals having to travel with notes. I see fiber optics that would improve our healthcare system so that lab results that are obtained or done at one institution can be traveled and transported by internet or computer communication without, again, involvement of man. I see, again, improvement in our water system by removing the cast iron pipes that we have there now, so that individuals in the east would be able to have water and no longer complain of the rustiness or brownish within their water system, and sometimes dingy or stealing their clothes. Yes, Bahamas, you see a smooth road surface, but I see a future. I see a better Bahamas. One of the other visionary initiatives that Warren mentioned is the establishment of housing communities. Not only are we constructing new homes, but we're encouraging and building communities. We're shifting and going back to neighborhood building. We look at communities where